Hello and welcome back for game number 2 of our Little East Conference doubleheader. UMass Boston winning the first game by a score of 6-5. Rhode Island College struck for 1 in the top of the ninth, but with a runner on second and 2 down, Brianna Melchiana struck out her 11th batter of the game, becoming just the second pitcher in program history to strike out 10 or more batters 3 times in a single season and 3 times in a career, matching Kara Wise, who is on the 2015 team, and also a freshman. Beacons still need wins. They probably need to win each of their next 3 to put themselves in a position to potentially make the LEC tournament, as they still trail 6th place Western Connecticut State, who has 4 games left, and they play 2 tomorrow against 6th place Keene State, who has 2 games left, both against the Beacons, with just 6 teams making it out of the 9 in the Little East Conference tournament. Bringing the starting lineups for the 2 sides. First for the visiting Rhode Island College anchor women. And Rhode Island College makes 2 changes in their lineup. One of them we expected, one of them we did not. Avery Katz leads off again. Callie Rathbun is behind the plate. Interesting because Alexis Boyce had a very nice game. Boyce in that first contest went 2 for 4 with 2 doubles, a run scored, and an RBI. Was actually stranded out there at second base in the top of the 7th. Caitlin Ash is the DP. Amber Wainwright is the first baseman. It says Boyce is the catcher, but I think that's a mistake on my part. It should be Cassidy Schoen. So I tried to fix that. And, yep, there is your updated lineup. Cassidy Schoen. Erica Flusky, who did pinch hit and was struck out looking to end the contest, is in here in game 2. Ashley Armstrong is at second. Alexis Lavelle, who hit second in game 1, down into the 8th spot. And in the 9 hole, it is Julie Vincent. For UMass Boston, a couple changes of their own. Let's take a look at the Beacons lineup under head coach Natalia Ardagna. Top 4 stay the same. Ruggiero, Perquette, Danahy, and Melchianda, who had 2 hits of her own, and the go-ahead 2-run single. The Beacons actually won the game on the 6th run of the day. That was a RBI ground out by Tam Landry, who hits 5th. So Melchianda in the circle for game 1, picked up her second win, her second complete game of her career. Ali Dayuti was in the DP spot in game 1. She is the right fielder here in game 2. Came on as a defensive replacement, or kind of shifted positions with Drew Washington in the 7th inning of the last game. Tori DeCenso is the first baseman. Sydney Sanson moves from the flex position to in the lineup, playing shortstop either way. Sarah Harlinski hits 9th, and Emily Doble is the Beacons starting pitcher here in game number 2, the freshman from Danvers. We're still at least what looks like a minute or 2 away, as we're still waiting on our umpires here for game number 2. So we're going to put up the main graphic once again, and we'll be back when we get closer to game times. UMass Boston desperately looking for the sweep today. They have not swept all season long, and they could use one as they look to get back to pick up a 4th win in conference play and move closer to currently tied for 6th Western Connecticut State, who sits at 4-8, and Keene State at 4-10. The Beacons playing 6 games in 3 days to close out this 2021 Little East Conference season. The umpires are back, and we are ready to go here for game number 2. Rhode Island College, who split each of their doubleheaders this weekend against Keene State College on Friday and Saturday, looking for at least a split here of the only 2 games these 2 teams will play. The other 8 teams in the Little East Conference scheduled to play 4 games against each team, 2 doubleheaders. UMass Boston only approved for a 16-game conference schedule, so the Beacons will only play every team twice, and they all count as conference games. Every single game brings about some pressure. Emily Doble is in the circle for UMass Boston, the freshman out of Danvers, Mass, who's 5'10", played softball and competed in track and field at Danvers High School, where she finished 6th in the girls' shot put at the Northeastern High School Conference Championship meet. Actually won the middle school division title all the way back in 2015 in softball, making her team-leading 7th appearance and second start of the year, 1-2, 7.97 ERA, which is 4th out of 5 pitchers on the staff, 92 thirds innings, 3rd best, 7 strikeouts to 3 walks, 15 hits, 12 runs, 11 earned, 3 doubles and a triple. Opponents hitting 366, which is actually second best number on the staff. The Beacons pitchers 2 through 5 have struggled a little bit to keep opponents off the base pass, 2 hit by pitches. She's had a couple of short outings where she's only worked 1 or fewer innings 3 times, but she's also gone 2 innings twice. And this is likely to be a scenario where the Beacons will use multiple pitchers in this. You could see Haley Catania, who's typically been starting one of the 2 games in doubleheaders. You could see Meghan Adams, and I even think there's an outside shot. You could see Bree Melchionda come on to close this one out if need be. Melchionda going the full 7 innings, 120 pitches, but Melchionda is probably your best shot to come up in a pressure situation, especially with the strikeout. She is the Beacons' strikeout pitcher. So game number 2 gets underway at 5:42, and the only reason that's interesting is there are no lights here at the UMB softball field, as Avery Katz shows bunt, pulls it back, and that's just off the corner. 1-0 to Katz, who puts down a bunt. It's a good one. Ruggiero takes charge but doesn't have a play. And Katz, who went 1 for 4 in game 1, has a leadoff bunt single here in game number 2. So going back to what I was thinking about earlier, let's take a quick peek at weather.com. 7:49 is sunset today. So we've got about 2 hours and 7 minutes to play this game 2, which is going to put it right on the line. Game number 1 went just about 2 hours. Showing bunt and whiffing is Callie Rathbun. We did not see Callie in game number 1, starting in place of Alexis Boyce. Sophomore infielder / catcher out of North Kingstown, Rhode Island. Won the Rhode Island State Championship as both a freshman and a sophomore at North Kingstown High. Pretty tall catcher at 5'7". Shows bunt. And it gets away from Landry. That'll go down as a pass ball. Moving up to second is Katz. Brian Claypool joking, hey, you moved her over. That's a good job there by Rathbun, who will now swing away at 0-2. In 5 of the last 8, 273 average, 6 of 22 with 5 runs scored and 4 RBI. That hits her front hip. And there are back-to-back base runners on to start this game. Doble made her lone other start of the season in game 2 against Castleton on opening day. She was a late change to the starting lineup. It was originally supposed to be Melchionda, but she wasn't quite ready. In that one, Doble had a rough outing. 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned, 2 walks. Only faced Caitlin in game 1. Walked in her first at bat, struck out looking, flew out to left, and grounded out. For Ash, That snapped a 9-game hitting streak. The Beacons' Kelly Danahy reached twice, so she's reached in all 11, but that ended her 10-game hitting streak. That one's hit deep to center. Under it is Perquette. Tagging at second is Katz. She's got a ton of speed. So a loud but productive out from Caitlin Ash. There are now runners at the corners with one out for the cleanup hitter Amber Wainwright. Definitely runs better than your average catcher. Has not attempted a steal this season. Wainwright takes another breaking ball. This one is on the outside half, 1-1. Wainwright reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning last game, struck out swinging her next to it, or struck out looking her next to it bats, and then reached on a swinging bunt single, and her pinch runner, Shannon McDonald, scored to cut it to 6-5, throw to second, and gets away from Danahy. The Beacons were not trying to get the base runner, but were trying to get Katz to come home, and she does on a throwing error from Tam Landry. So Rathbun steals the base, and Katz comes in to score on the error. So it's 1-0 Anchor Women, and a runner at second base still with just the one out. I believe it's a 2-1 count here to Wainwright. Just inside. Arnold Walken, our base umpire for game one, is behind the plate. Austin Hammer is on the bases. 3-1 here to Wainwright, the cleanup hitter, with Cassidy Schoen on deck. 3-1 pitch, too far inside. So first and second here for Cassidy Schoen. Sophomore third baseman out of Hopewell Junction, New York. Schoen went 0 for 2 in game one. Struck out looking twice, walked and scored a run, and hits this one out at the shortstop, and a great diving catch from Sydney Sandin. Diving to her right, and she's able to make the stab and keep the runners at first and second. Sandin only saw the ball twice in game one, but gets a big round of applause from the Beacons lacrosse team. 2 outs, 2 on. A run already in for Erica Flusky, the senior right fielder, who is now 5 for 27, 2 of her last 21. The runner at second is Rathbun, who was hit by a pitch and then stole second. It's part of the run-scoring play in which the throw got away from Danahy. Avery Katz coming in to score from third on the air. (0-1) here to Flusky, who is making her 74th collegiate appearance. 0-1 fouled off, 0-2. Flusky was very frustrated by what she thought should have been a ball on the final. I think it should have been ball 4. It would have put 2 on with 2 outs, but was called strike 3. She and head coach Brian Claypool could not believe the strike 3, looking to end game one. More aggressive here. 0-2, hit over on the left side. Sandin will get it, only plays to third, and she goes the short way to third to retire the Anchor Women. Rhode Island College does get one on the throwing error down to second, but the Beacons able to keep them to just the 1 run. It is 1-0 Anchor Women after half an inning. Tatiana Bursey is the starting pitcher for Rhode Island College. Out of Boston, Mass, but played her high school softball at Reading High School north of the city. Was the Middlesex League MVP and led her team to a Middlesex League title as a junior. This past summer, the varsity team at Reading played as part of the USA Softball Massachusetts Varsity League. It was put together 4 varsity teams. She actually pitched a one-hit shutout in the championship game to lead her team to a USA Softball Massachusetts Varsity League title. She's making her 14th appearance, tops on the team in her 12th start, 3-6 with a 6.53 ERA, a team-high 64 in the third innings. 7 complete games, which is also tops on the team. 28 strikeouts versus 19 walks. Has allowed 105 hits, so almost 2 hits for every inning. She faces Kaylee Ruggiero, takes the first pitch out to right, and that's going to be a hit and maybe more. Ruggiero takes off for second. Flusky is still struggling to get it in. Ruggiero all the way into third base, and she is up there standing. So Rhode Island College got a run in the top of the first, and the Beacons look primed to get at least one here in the bottom half. Ruggiero, her third triple in the last 4 games. Had 2 of them in game 1 against UMass Dartmouth on Saturday. Finishing out the numbers on Bursey, 78 runs versus 60 earned, 24 doubles, 3 triples, 4 home runs, almost on the team. 31 of her 105 hits have been extra base hits allowed. Opponents hitting .356 against her. She is good at limiting the wild pitches. Just 5 wild pitches and a team low 2 hit by pitches. She's a pitcher who's going to pitch deep, and she's a bit more of a strikeout pitcher. Has had 5 strikeouts twice. The game 1 starter, Caitlin Lopez, only has 4, as that's a dead ball in the box on Brittany Burkett. 1-1 to the Beacons junior center fielder out of Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Beacons have had good success recruiting student athletes out of Pittsfield. A couple baseball players, some track athletes, some soccer, women's soccer players. 1-1, fouled off. 1-2. Burkett, who came in as the Beacons' second leading hitter in terms of batting average and OBP, finished 2 for 3 with a pair of stolen bases and a pair of runs scored in game number 1. Starting both rallies in the first and fifth when the Beacons scored 3 runs in both innings. 1-2, chopped back to the pitcher. Bursey will look at Ruggiero, throw to first. UMass Boston doesn't get aggressive there with no outs. So Burkett is retired. Bursey fields her position well. She also played shortstop in high school. And Bursey has pitched much better over her last 4 outings. 3-0, 21 innings, 15 runs, 13 earned, an ERA of 5.57, 22 hits, 11 strikeouts to 6 walks. Her ERA has gone from a season ERA of 7.59 down to 6.53 over her last 4 games. So this is a pitcher who's finding her groove a bit potentially here late on in her freshman campaign. She's had 0-1 to Kelly Danahy, who came in as the conference's second leading hitter and third in OBP. Well, Kelly did not get a hit in game 1, going 0 for 1, but she did walk twice, steal a base, and score twice. So she's reached in all 11 games this year for the Beacons. Takes it low. 2-1 to Danahy, the senior second baseman out of Kingston, Mass., who attended Silver Lake Regional High School. First team all-conference player as a freshman, 4-year starter at second base. 2-1 to Danahy, 3-1. Danahy did come in with 4 doubles and a triple, so does have some pop from the left side. Heading the count 3-1. Let's see if Bursey gives her anything to hit. 3-1 pitch over to the shortstop. This should score Ruggiero. The throw is home. The tag is late, and it'll be a fielder's choice RBI. Danahy doesn't get credit for the hit, but she does reach. And the Beacons will take it, a run and a base runner. And honestly, that was not the greatest of decisions by Alexis LaBelle. Ruggiero is the Beacons' leadoff hitter, a pretty speedy player, and she was going hard the entire way. That would have had to be a perfect throw to have a chance of getting Ruggiero. Could have easily had the out at first, and it would have been a 1-1 game in the first inning. That's not a bad thing. Back to an even game. Instead, now you give the Beacons a potential to make this a big inning. 0-1 here to Melchiana, who's the DP in Game 2 after having a big Game 1, both in the circle. And as the runner takes off for second, Danahy's in there. The throw actually tailing away from the shortstop, LaBelle. Good backup from Armstrong. Otherwise, Danahy might have been into third base. The throw sailed. Melchiana in game number 1 finished 2 for 3, reached all 3 times as she reached on an error in between her 2 singles. She stole a base and scored in the first, and then had a 2-run go-ahead single up the middle in the 5th. And her pinch runner, Bellinado, scored the game-winning run later on in the inning. Melchiana pops this one foul, kind of an inside-out swing. Count it 1-2. Danahy over at second base. The Beacons look to take a lead here in the first, just as they did in game number 1. That time it was 3-0. UMass Boston committed an error that allowed a run to score in the first, trying to get one back, maybe more. This is a hard hit ball right at the third baseman, Cassidy Schoen. Danahy does not advance. Melchiana has reached all 4 times, and question if that's going to be a hit or an error. Ball was scorched, and honestly, Schoen kind of got her foot twisted there. It will be a single. So third hit in 4 trips, and now there are 2 on with 1 out for Tam Landry. Landry drove in that game-winning run in the 6th of game 1. Beacon sophomore catcher out of Leominster went 0 for 3, popped up foul to the first baseman, grounded out to the second baseman, and grounded back to the first baseman, Wainwright, in game 1, but it drove in Nadeau from third with 1 out. Shows bunt, gets away from the catcher, Rathbun, and both runners will advance on the wild pitch. So there could have been 2 outs and no one on at a 1-1 game. Instead, the throw from LaBelle late, Ruggiero scores, Danahy reaches. There are now 2 runners in scoring position with just the 1 out for Tam Landry. Another ball that sails wide. 2-1 here to Landry. Landry, who is 5 for 32 on the season, 3 RBI and 4 doubles. A double here would likely score 2. Landry hits this one hard out to right at Flusky. Danahy was off the bag, the throw home, and that's going to cost the Beacons. Not only did Landry hit it too hard almost, but Danahy was off the bag, and in that situation, you really just want her tagging. And I understand what Kelly was thinking, but if she tags there, maybe you send her. But unfortunately, just hit too hard, right on a line at Flusky. Saw a similar play game number 1. I think it was Ash hit one right at Perquette in center on a line. Brings up Ali Dayuti. Ball bounces away from the catcher, but not far enough. Danahy and the Beacons' longtime assistant coach, Josh Bartley, both kind of just saying, oh, shucks, over there at third base, hoping that ball would bounce further away. It kind of just sat there in the batter's box. No chance to score as Callie Rathbun was right there. Ali Dayuti making her 2nd straight start. Had a 2-run single in the first in game 1. Has a chance to do the same thing right here. Allie finished game 1, 1 for 3 with 2 RBI and a stolen base. She also struck out swinging and grounded out to second. Swings through a pitch there. And it's 2-1. Dayuti to be followed by DeCenso, Sandin, and Harlinski. Allie out of Braintree, Mass. Had her first 2 RBI of the season in game 1. Swings through another pitch, 2-2. As a freshman back in 2019, Dayuti appeared in 12 games, made 4 starts as the backup catcher. Finished 3 for 17 with 2 runs scored and 3 RBI. Really hard-working player who has worked her way into the lineup here late in the season. 2-2 offering, swings through it, and Bursey able to get out of the inning, but not before the Beacons get a run. And it is 1-1 after a pair of mental/defensive miscues here to score a run for either side in the first. One after an inning. Pair of freshmen in the circle. It'll be 7-8-9, Armstrong, LaBelle, and Vincent for the Anchor women. First pitch too tight to Armstrong, ball 1. Ashley, the second baseman. Game 1, she was hit by a pitch, singled and scored in the 4th, and struck out swinging, strikeout victim number 10. On the outside half, 1-1. Ashley did not seem to like that call. Sophomore out of Warwick, Rhode Island. She played her high school softball along Alexis Boyce, who was actually not Alexis Boyce, getting my Anchor women mixed up. Definitely 2 players who played at Tollgate High School. It was Armstrong and LaBelle. So the second baseman and shortstop, that double play combo, you got to love that. Fouls it off. 1-2 here to Armstrong. Now, Doble is not the strikeout pitcher that Melchiana is. 7 strikeouts in 9 2/3 innings. Make it now 10 2/3 as she got through the first inning without a strikeout. Stays at 1-2. 1-2 offering, and there's the strikeout. Good breaking ball that fooled Armstrong. 1 down. Top 2 for Alexis LaBelle. The other player out of Tollgate High School. I knew I wasn't making things up. LaBelle making her second straight start after playing in just one of the last 10. Takes the first pitch too far inside. Alexis hit second in game 1, popped up to first and short, grounded out to second and struck out looking 0 for 4. Pops this one down the right field line. Dayuti chasing, and she can't get there. 1-1, 1 out. Top of the second inning between the 8th and 9th ranked teams in the conference. Now, if the Beacons can win this game, all of a sudden they move into a tie for 6th. 6th is the big place. Only 6 of the 9 teams make it into next week's LEC tournament. breaking them on the outside half 1-2. Now, if you've been a follower of the LEC for a while, this year's LEC tournament is going to look a bit different. Because of COVID, with some schools not allowing their teams to stay overnight, it will not be a 6-team single site tournament as the ball is hit out to center. And LaBelle reaches with a 1-out single. First hit of the day. The top 2 teams, Eastern Connecticut State and the University of Southern Maine, in some order. Southern Maine is actually, I believe, in first place at 11-1. Eastern is 12-2. They suffered a walk-off loss against Castleton and a walk-off loss to Southern Maine in conference. Showing bunt and unable to connect is Julie Vincent, the left fielder, who in game 1 flew out to right, had a 2 RBI single to center, and an RBI double. So the 9-hole hitter had 3 of the team's 5 RBI. Not too shabby. Hits this one out to center in front of Perquette. Kind of in no man's land. The throw to second is late. Gets away from Sandin, but no advance. Vincent's got 3 hits in 4 at-bats. And it'll bring up Avery Katz, who had a bunt single and scored in the first. Katz on the day is 2 for 5 with an RBI. So the top 2 seeds will host, and the way it's going to work is the 1 seed will host the 4 and the 5, and the 2 seed will host the 3 and the 6. First pitch to Katz on the outside half, 0-1. The 2 lower seeds, so the 4 and the 5 and the 3 and the 6, will play. The winner of that game will move on to the winner's bracket to play the top seed. So either the 1 or the 2. The loser will still be alive. It's a double elimination tournament, just like the normal LEC tournament. It's 1-1 here to Avery Katz, who came in 13 of 15 on the base pass. Did not attempt to steal in game number 1, but player who can absolutely fly. And from that point, the winner of those game 1s will play the top seeds. The loser of that second game will play the loser of game 1 in an elimination game. So you really, if you're not going to be a top 2 seed, which is everyone likely but Eastern Connecticut State and Plymouth State, who are, unless Plymouth State, who's 6-2 with 8 games left in conference, Katz hits it right up the middle. They are going to send LaBelle. The throw home, it's going to be offline, and they're going to call Rhode Island College out on the bat. So I'm actually being told that it was not the bat that was in the way of Tam Landry that caused the issue. It's that Natalia Ardagna, the Beacons coach, had specifically asked home plate umpire Arnold Walken to watch the front foot of Avery Katz. And Avery Katz's front foot must have been out of the circle, or out of the batter's box, batter's box at home, circle out in the middle of the diamond. So that's a dead ball. Katz is going to be out, and the runner should have to return to their original bases, and no advancement. So it's not 1-1. Katz is out. To you. And LaBelle stays at second. That is a huge break and a really nice job by Natalia Ardagna to recognize it. And then a good call by Arnold Walken, who were early enough in the game that you can still see the chalk at the front of the batter's box. And it costs the anchorman a run and potentially a big inning. Brings up Rathbun, who was hit by a pitch and stole second. Stranded out at second base. One and one to Callie Rathbun, who in game 2 on Friday against Keene State went 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored and an RBI. One and one, 2 outs after that big break for the Beacons. Now it's 2-1. Doble is going to pitch to contact. She's not going to strike out a lot of batters. She needs to rely on her defense. Thus far has allowed 3 hits, walked a batter and hit a batter, but it's only been the 1 run. 2-1. Right in there at the knee. Breaking ball on the inside half. 2-2. Brian Claypool is he's steaming a little bit over there in the third base batter's box. It was a clear explanation from Arnold Walken, but that's a momentum shifting play. Out of the batter's box on Katz. This one's popped up. Easy play for Danahy over at second. And even though it looked like Rhode Island College was going to score 1, if not multiple runs, they're held off the board here in the second. We head to the bottom half of the second. The Beacons a chance to take the lead. It's tied 1-1. UMass Boston will go with 7-8-9, just as Rhode Island College did to start the top of the second. DeCenso, Sandin, and Harlinski. DeCenso, the Beacons' senior first baseman, UMass, takes a first pitch, fastball on the outside half, 0-1. Tori in game number 1 walked and was caught stealing, popped up to short, and then was pinch hit for before her third at bat. Pops this one foul. 0-2. Bercy, the Boston native, looks in. 0-2 offering, bounces up there, 1-2. Tatiana the other day against Keene State. 7 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk in a 6-3 victory against the Owls. Gets a pop-up, another ball foul. Senso trying to put something in play here. 1-2, misses high, 2-2. $7-8-9 for the Beacons. who took a 3-0 lead in game one. Rhode Island College tied it up. Then they scored 3 more runs. For Rhode Island College scored 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, and left the game-tying run stranded at second base. Count is run full. Senso looking to be a leadoff base runner, just like Ruggiero was in the first. Chopper over to the third baseman, Schoen, has some time to throw across. It's there in time, and DeCenso is retired. Makes it a lot easier on Schoen when it's DeCenso rather than Perquette or Harlinski, who can just fly. Brings up Sidney Sandin for the first time today. Sandin was the flex player in game one as Melchiana hits for herself. Sandin, the sophomore shortstop out of Riverton, Connecticut, attended Northwest Regional 7 high school. She played softball, soccer, and basketball. All-state player in softball, first team All-Berkshire League 3 times, including named to the second team once. She led her team to 3 league titles, and a little bit earlier on in her career won the AAU U14 World Series back in 2015. Chops this one over to the opposing shortstop. Easy play for LaBelle. And 2 quick outs here for Bursey by way of the ground now. Brings up Sarah Harlinski. 9-hole hitter who went 2 for 3 in game one, her second straight 2-hit game. Pair of singles over to the third baseman, Schoen, and a strikeout. Doesn't have to hit it hard. In fact, hitting hard might actually be what she's not trying to do. Two and 0 to Harlinski here. Harlinski scored the 4th run for the Beacons in game one. Swings and misses. 2-1. Chops it to the shortstop this time. LaBelle fires, and it's in time. So 3 groundouts here in the bottom of the second. Bursey using her defense, and we head to the third. Game stays at 0-0. Middle of the order, Ash, Wainwright, and Schoen, as Rhode Island College looked like they were going to score a run in the second. In fact, a runner crossed the plate, but Avery Katz, who singled up the middle, was ruled out for stepping out of the batter's box. It brought the runners back with 2 outs, and Callie Rathbun popped up to the second baseman to end the inning, with Caitlin Ash awaiting on deck. Ash flew out to deep center in the first inning. She is hitless on the day, 0 for 4 with the walk. Grounds over this one to the second baseman, Danahy, who's been busy. It really feels like both second basemen have been extremely active in today's doubleheader. Especially in the first game, it felt like the right side of Rhode Island College's defense, Armstrong and Wainwright, were making a ton of 3-4 or 4-3 groundouts. And speaking of Wainwright, she's up. She walked in the first inning. Has a hit, a walk, a run, and 2 strikeouts on the day. Takes another one inside. 2-0. Wainwright actually from Massachusetts, Taunton, south of the city. Attended Taunton High School. Had 6 multi-hit games this season. Hits it over the shortstop. Sandin has time. Good throw. And, man, this game has started to move. That is 5 straight groundouts between the two sides. And Doble looking for her first 1-2-3 inning after Bursey was able to hold the Beacons in check in the bottom of the second. The Beacons have had 1-2-3 inning defensively today. That was the top of the 5th. Rhode Island College, their first true 1-2-3 inning was the last half inning. Caitlin Lopez was able to retire the Beacons with just 3 batters stepping to the plate in the second inning of game 1, but that's because a batter reached on a walk and then was caught stealing. So not the true 1-2-3 inning. Doble ahead in the count here to Cassidy Schoen, the third baseman who lined out to short. A good diving effort by Sandin in the first inning, hit out to right. Diuti bobbled it. I think she was thinking about throwing it to first base. Instead, it's just a single. 2-out base runner for Erica Flusky, who reached on a fielder's choice, hit it over in the hole between the shortstop and third baseman, and Sandin just went the short way with runners at first and second and 2 outs, and got the lead runner, Callie Rathbun, at second base. Hits this one hard up the middle, and that's going to help her cause, as she had been 2 for her last 22. Picks up her 6th hit of the season. Back-to-back 2-out base hits for Ashley Armstrong. Armstrong struck out swinging on a breaking ball to start the second inning. Doble worked a season-high 4 innings on Saturday in game 2. 4 innings, 3 hits, a run scored, no earned, career-high 3 strikeouts. It was the best outing of her collegiate career. This is the second longest outing of her career, as she has gone 2 2/3, allowing just the 1 run. Looking to keep the anchor women off the scoreboard again here in the third. I really like Doble's demeanor in the circle. Never gets too high or too low. Cue shot off the end of the bat. Easy play for Danahy. Underhand scoops. And the anchor women put 2 more aboard, but unable to score. They've left 6 through the first 2.5 innings. It is still UMass Boston 1, Rhode Island College 1 here as we head to the bottom of the third. Top of the order for UMass Boston. Kaylee Ruggiero led off the bottom of the first with the stand-up triple, her third of the season, and came in to score on a fielder's choice when the ball was hit to the shortstop, LaBelle, and they elected to try to throw home and get her, and Ruggiero was in safely. 0-1 to Ruggiero, who has had 4 extra base hits in her last 4 games. That one caught the knob of the bat. I don't know if it caught her or not, but either way, she was in the swinging motion. Ruggiero went 0 for 4 in the first game. Grounded out to third, struck out swinging, grounded back to the pitcher, and flew out to right. So 1 for 5 on the day. Came in as the Beacon's third best hitter statistically, hitting .364. Chops that one foul. Ruggiero will be followed by Perquette and Danahy. UMass Boston has done the majority of their damage with the top of this order. His front 3 have been their best hitters by far. In fact, their top 4 hitters statistically are 9, 1, 2, 3 in terms of batting average. Ruggiero just underneath the glove of Schoen over there at third base. It'll be a base hit. And another leadoff base runner, the second in 3 innings for the Beacons. Schoen has had a tough day. That was going to be a difficult backhand, and she was looking where Ruggiero was. So Kaylee's 2 for 2, and it brings up Brittany Perquette, who's one of those lefty slappers who could be bunting to advance the runner and could beat out a bunt. Brittany hit the ball back to the pitcher, Tatiana Bursey, trying to drive in Ruggiero from third in the first inning. Shows bunt, gets away, and taking off for second. I'm not sure if that was a wild pitch or stolen base. I wasn't able to see where Kaylee started, but either way, she's up to second base, and the Beacons have a runner in scoring position as they're going to give the stolen base. Runner in scoring position with no outs. One and 0 to Perquette. Shows bunt, puts it down. Bursey will field the throws to the second baseman, Armstrong. It'll go down as a 1-4 sack bunt. Moving up to third is Ruggiero, and there is a runner at third with 1 out for Kelly Danahy. The exact same situation as we saw in the first inning when Danahy hit the ball to the shortstop, LaBelle. LaBelle elected to go home with it. Ruggiero slid in safely for Danahy's 7th RBI of the year. Kelly walked twice and was retired once in the first game. So 0 for 2 on the day. Came in hitting over .570 on the season. It's reached in every game this season. Just over the top on that first swing. Foul ball. 0-1 here to Danahy, who she hits it to the anywhere hard. Maybe they'll come home, but I got to figure that they'll probably just elect to go to first this time, as it almost cost them in the first innings. The Beacons put 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. Danahy, another chopper. This one is, umpire has not said anything. They're going to throw to first, and she's out. And now Arnold Watkins says foul. I never heard the home plate umpire say anything, and it was like a standoff between the batter and the catcher as to what was going on, and eventually they do say it was a foul ball. That was one of the odder plays I've ever seen, where it just seemed like no one quite knew what was going on. 0-2 here to Danahy, looking to put the ball in play to score Ruggiero from third, and she does. It's hit out to right. Flusky is under it. This is well deep enough, and Flusky drops it. Fighting the sun. Danahy's into second. Ruggiero scores, and the Beacons lead it 2-1. That was definitely deep enough for a sac fly, and instead another defensive miscue by the anchor women, and Danahy's aboard. So Bree Melchionda, who had 2 hits and 2 RBI in game 1, steps to the plate. She reached on a fielder's choice. Rather, she singled to the third baseman. and was stranded at second after stealing second. Melchiana fisted. This is going to be a tough play, and it'll bounce away from Bursey. That last play is going to go down as an error on Flusky. So 2-1 the Beacons lead. Kaylee Ruggiero with a pair of hits and a pair of runs scored. Danahy out at second base. 0-2 and another foul ball as Melchiana fights off pitch from Bursey. Melchiana has 3 hits and 4 trips to the plate. Has reached every time. She reached on an error in game 1. She is now 10 for 33. Getting closer to 333 on the year. She came in hitting 241, but her batting average should be just about 300 right now. Yeah, 303 coming into this at-bat. Melchiana takes strike 3. She thought it was low. Brings up Tam Landry, who lined out to right field. Landry, the sophomore catcher out of Leominster, Mass. Has had an RBI in 4 of the last 6 games, including an RBI ground out in the 5th of game 1 that proved to be the game-winning run as Rhode Island College came back from a 6-3 deficit to cut it to 6-5. Danahy out there at second base, reached on the error by Flusky. Inning should already be over. 1-1 to the Beacons' 5-hole hitter and catcher. Sun is coming down quickly. Here on the first base side, it's already mostly shadows, but still supposed to have about another hour and 15 minutes of daylight. Landry pops it up foul. It's already becoming an issue for the batters as the entire area in front of the plate, including the batter's box, is in shadows, but the pitching circle is in daylight. Always makes for a more difficult time for the batters as they struggle to pick up the ball. 1-2, 2 outs, a run already in. The Beacons lead it 2-1 here in the bottom of the 3rd. Landry pops up another one foul. And Jordan Toomey, who's collecting foul balls over here on the right field side, has another one to chase after. One, two outs. Beacons looking to extend this lead. And Landry pops up another ball foul. Certainly not making this easy on Tatiana Bursey. Already 3 foul balls here on the right side. Danahy at second. Drove in Kaylee Ruggiero with that fly ball to right. Landry takes one just off the corner. It looked very good from here, but Landry, who's been behind the plate for both of these games, knows the zone, and it just missed off the corner. Remember, the Beacons lacrosse team playing at 7 p.m. in the Little East Conference semifinals. You can also find that game on littleeast.tv. So Landry fouls one off down the third base side this time. The top-seeded Beacons lacrosse team taking on 5th-seeded Plymouth State University after Plymouth State upset 4th-seeded Eastern Connecticut State on Tuesday. Beacons looking to avoid the upset bug tonight. They would host the LEC championship game on Saturday at 4. Ball is nubbed back to the pitcher, and Bursey able to field her position. UMass Boston, though, takes the lead on an RBI fly ball to right that was dropped and allowing Ruggiero to score. Top of the fourth inning, game two. UMass Boston leads it 2-1 after a sacrifice fly from Kelly Danahy, who has a pair of RBI here in game two. For the anchor women here in the fourth, 8-9-1, LaBelle, Vincent, and Katz. LaBelle behind 0-2. Alexis, sophomore out of Warwick, Rhode Island, playing at shortstop for the second consecutive game. Single to center in her lone at bat. One out base hit, but was stranded at second. And she hits another one. This one out to right. It'll get down in front of Diuti. And LaBelle is 2 for 2 here in game two. And she's a leadoff base runner for Julie Vincent, who is having an even better day at the plate. She's had 3 hits, 3 RBI, a pair of singles, and a double, and has only been retired once. This is a really good 8-9 duo for head coach Brian Claypool, especially ahead of the top of the order where they have so much power. Showing bunt and putting it down, quickly picking up as Landry throws the first, not in time. Landry looked at second, and that cost her. If she had gone to first the entire way, I think she gets Vincent. Instead, there are 2 on with no outs for Avery Katz, who would have had a go-ahead RBI single her last time up. Natalia Ardagna is going to just wanted to ask the umpire who's on the bases for the call. So back-to-back singles to start the inning. It brings up Avery Katz, who would have had a go-ahead RBI single back in the second, but it was ruled that her front foot was out of the batter's box when she made contact, so it was ruled an out. Katz had a bunt single to lead off the game and was called out on that play. It's 0-2 here to Katz with 2 on and no outs. Beacons just took the lead in the bottom of the third, looking to hold on to it for longer than a few batters. Katz to be followed by Rathbun and Ash. 0-2 outside. Remember, Doble, not much of a strikeout pitcher, has 1 today, but has also only walked 1. So, again, your true contact pitcher pitched a career-long 4 innings the other day against UMass Dartmouth, looking to get through the fourth here. Katz puts it up the middle. This should score LaBelle. Throw from Perquette is going to be short of the line as skips away from Landry, allowing both runners to move up. And Katz, who hit a ball pretty much the same spot the last time but was ruled out, able to come through here. So it's a 2-2 game. Vincent to third on the throw. Katz to second, and Beacon's in some real trouble here. It's Rathbun to be followed by Ash, all with no outs. This is the part of the order that kind of scares you if you're an opposing team. Rathbun coming in, hitting .275. She's been hit by a pitch and popped up to second. The batter behind her is really the batter that worries you. As she hits it right to the shortstop, will go to first. It's 3-2, Rick. Both runners move up, and Sandin made a clear decision there. I'm going to get the out. I think it was the right decision. You get an out. It's only a 3-2 game. Kind of the issue with that play by Landry. If she had just elected to go hard to first the entire way, there would be 2 outs and there would be no one on third. Or there would be 1 out, a runner at potentially second or third, and just the 1 run in instead of the 2 runs. Instead, there's a runner at third. So 1-0 count here for Caitlin Ash, who is the leading hitter on this Anchor Women team. Came in hitting .394 with a .606 slugging percentage. Both tops on the team at a .449 on base percentage. 2-0 to Ash, who has flown out to center and grounded out to second. She is 0 for 5 on the day with the walk, but you just got to figure it's a matter of time before she comes due. Ash takes it low, 3-0 for the freshman first baseman / DP out of Colchester, Connecticut. Attended Bacon Academy in high school. Is hit over to the second baseman, Danahy. She's going to come home low. Throw, and it's there in time. Brian Claypool can't believe it. That was a very close play. I'm surprised Danahy came home. Claypool is very upset. I don't know about that call. It was a very close play. The issue was it looked like the runner had the leg in, but the Beacons get the out. The runner is now at first instead of third. And there are 2 down for Amber Wainwright on a bang-bang play. Danahy, a good low throw. By keeping that throw low, it allowed Landry to get the immediate swipe tag. Ash reaches on the fielder's choice. Ball is popped up to shallow right. Coming in is Dayuti. And the Beacons get out of the inning with just the 2 runs. It's 3-2 Rhode Island College through 3.5. And again, Rhode Island College leaves a base runner on. UMass Boston trailing for the first time in today's doubleheader. 6, 7, 8. Dayuti, DeCenso, and Sandin here in the bottom of the 4th inning against Tatiana Bercy. Dayuti struck out swinging, her second strikeout of the day in her lone at-bat of this contest. Did not seem to be too happy about me saying that and fouls it off right back at me. Dayuti did have one of the big hits for UMass Boston in Game 1, a 2-run single in the first to give the Beacons a 3-0 lead. Takes it low, 2-1. Allie, the starter in right field after starting Game 1 as the DP. Both teams have had chances to put up bigger innings, but have been unable to come through with clutch hits. The Beacons have scored their runs on a fielder's choice on a ball hit to the shortstop that a runner from third came home on, and a sacrifice fly that ended up being dropped by the right fielder. 3-1, catches the corner 3-2. For Rhode Island College, they've had some clutch hits, but they have left 7 through the first 4 innings, and it could have been more if not for Avery Katz being ruled to have stepped out of the batter's box on what would have been an RBI single. Diuti once again ahead in the count, and then strikes out swinging. That's the 3rd strikeout for Bursey. And then that last half inning, Danahy's throw home, able to retire Avery Katz on a fielder's choice. DeCenso pops up the first pitch behind the plate. Rathbun is there, and she's unable to make the play. Very close to the backstop, and unfortunately just couldn't quite get there. So DeCenso with new life. She grounded out to third base in her lone at-bat here in Game 2. Oh and 1. And DeCenso lays off. Sydney Sandin in the on-deck circle. The Beacons look to get some kind of life. Thus far, the only players who have reached for the Beacons are the top 4 in the lineup. Ruggiero is 2 for 2. This one's hit over softly to Schoen. Picks, bobbles, throws, and it's in time. Second time that DeCenso sent one over to Schoen. Bobbles this one a little bit more, but able to get it over just in time. Ruggiero's 2 for 2. Danahy's reached twice. Melchionda has reached, but 5 through 9 in the order are a combined 0 for 8 thus far. Sandin grounded out to the shortstop, LaBelle, back in the second inning. Takes the first pitch, hits it out to right center. This is going to be a tough play, and making the running effort is Avery Katz. Had a long way to come on that ball hit into right center field, and she's able to make the catch. Head to the 5th. It's the Anchor Women 3, UMass Boston 2 here on the Little East Conference Network. Emily Doble's day is done after 4 innings. She ties her career high with 4 innings pitched, and honestly did exactly what the Beacons coaching staff was hoping she would do. She kept them in this game, worked herself in and out of trouble, but able to get it done. Let's bring you the final line on Doble right now. 4 innings pitched. 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. And she'll be replaced by number 25, Meghan Adams. Adams, the sophomore out of Portsmouth, New Hampshire. 5'9", attended Portsmouth High School, where she played softball, volleyball, and was a member of the crew team. Was a team MVP in softball as a senior back in 2019. A nominee for the Seacoast Media Group's 2019 Softball Player of the Year. Making her 7th appearance, tied for tops on the team with Doble, who we just saw. 0-0 at the 5.60 ERA. 5 innings pitched, 9 hits, 6 runs, 4 earned, 2 strikeouts, no walks. Opponents have hit .375. She has hit 4 batters in 5 innings. Doesn't go that deep into games. As their first pitch pulls Landry well out of the batter's box. Adams, the longest she's gone is 2 1/3 innings. That came in Game 2 last Tuesday against Southern Maine. She'll face 5, 6, 7, Schoen, Flusky, and Armstrong here for the Anchor women. 1-0 pitch, hit softly over to DeCenso. She'll take it herself. And a quick out to start Adams' day. Brings up Erica Flusky, who reached on a fielder's choice to end the first inning, 6-5, and then singled out to center to put 2 on with 2 outs in the third. That single ended a 2-for-22 stretch for the senior, who hits this one hard but tailing foul for strike 1. Flusky was a starter in each of her first 3 years. Hit .407 over her first 3 years, including .456 average as a sophomore. But this season came in hitting under 200 at 5 for 26. She's now 1 for 3, so make it 6 for 29. Has another hit. This one hit out to right, and it bounces away from Dayuti, who tried to take it on a hop. It's going to be a single, and that ball bouncing up on Sandin. If that ball was caught by Sandin, they might have had Flusky. It was a very good throw from Dayuti, who typically plays catcher, so she's got a strong arm, but it's going to go down as a single and likely an error on Dayuti. So a runner in scoring position with 1 out for Ashley Armstrong, second baseman, who was struck out swinging and grounded out to second. Armstrong to be followed by the 8 and 9 hole hitters, who are combined 4 for 4. All 4 at bats, though, against Doble. Hit hard. Danahy makes a great snag and able to get it over to DeCenso. So 2 down. That ball was hit very hard, but Danahy, 4-year starter at second base, made it look easy. You can see Flusky over there at third base now. Big run in this contest. 3-2. 2 outs, top of the 5th. Beacon's trying to keep this one close as they get towards the top of their order once again in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch to LaBelle is low. LaBelle has singled to center, singled to right in the 4th inning, and came in to score on an RBI single from Avery Katz. Oh, one popped up on the left side. Ruggiero makes the play. And Adams able to work around a leadoff single and an error. Runner on second with no outs. Able to strand her over at third base. We head to the bottom of the 5th. UMass Boston will go 9-1-2. Looking to get at least 1 run here to tie it up. Maybe even take the lead. They try to keep their playoff hopes alive. Already took game 1 by a 6-5 score. They need a couple more wins, preferably in a row. If the Beacons can go 2-0 today, 2-0 tomorrow against Keene, they are right in it heading into the final weekend of the Little East Conference regular season. Got one change for Rhode Island College. Faith Turanese is in right field for Erica Flusky. Flusky, who made that error earlier on in the contest and just had an at-bat. So Turanese who started game 1 in right, will come on here in the 5th. The batter is Sarah Harlinski, who grounded out to shortstop to end the 2nd inning. 9-hole hitter. Chopper goes foul, 0-2. To Harlinski, who had 2 hits in each of her last 2 games coming in. And that's another foul ball, a little bit closer. Assistant coach Josh Bartley said it was vital for Harlinski to get on here, so see if she can come through for the team. And that's just foul. Almost made contact with the third baseman Schoen's glove. It did not. It was close. Because if it had, that would be a fair ball. Her glove was clearly in fair territory. Instead, the count stays at 0-2. Harlinski's goal is to hit it over on the left side. Her goal is just to hit it a little bit directly less at Schoen, the third baseman, make her work a little bit more. Preferably even hit it between the shortstop and third baseman. 0-2, Harlinski fouls off another. Very early update from James Cotter Field. The Beacons lacrosse team is in the first quarter of their game. They took a 1-0 lead 20 seconds in. Dara Fahey giving the Beacons the top seed a lead over Plymouth State. Game just about a minute and 20 seconds in. 0-2 pitch high to Harlinski, 1-2. Bursey looks in for the sign. 1-2 offering. Hit over to the shortstop. LaBelle's throw is there in time. Alexis LaBelle seems very comfortable against those slap hitters, just calmly fielding it and then throwing it across. Harlinski retired 6-3 for the second time. The one player that Bursey and Rhode Island College is yet to retire is up at the plate. Kaylee Ruggiero. Triple to right and scored in the first. Single at the third baseman, stole a bag and scored in the third. Takes a pitch high. 1-0. UMass Boston really needs this one in the standings. At 3-8, a win would put them in a 3-way tie for 6th place in the conference with 4 conference wins. They would be tied with Keene at 4-8 and ahead of, actually, tied with WestCon at 4-8 and percentage points ahead of Keene at 4-10. But really, it's all about those wins, as everyone will end up with 16 games by the end of the weekend. Some teams finish by Friday. Keene State will play their final 2 conference games tomorrow. Some teams play Saturday. I think there might even be 1 or 2 games on Sunday to determine the seeding for the Little East Conference tournament on the softball side. 3-0 here to Ruggiero, and she swings and misses. Was looking for an extra base hit. Just need base runners right here. 3-1. Rhode Island College leads it 3-2 here in the bottom of the 5th inning as the Beacons look to at least tie it, if not take the lead here in the 5th with the top of their order up. Ruggiero chopper back to Bursey, fields her position well, and there are 2 outs for Brittany Perquette. The way the bottom of the Beacons order has hit, you'd really hope that you could get something going in this frame, because Rhode Island College's Tatiana Bursey is really limited. 5 through 9 have yet to reach. They're a combined 0 for 10. So you figure if Bursey can get through Perquette, and then potentially Danahy and Melchion in the next half inning, UMass Boston might not get a chance again with these 9-1-2 hitters who have been some of their best hitters this season. First pitch caught the bat of Perquette, so I think it's 0-1. Perquette has grounded back to the pitcher twice. A ground out to the pitcher in the first inning, a sac bunt back to Bursey in the second, 0-2. Bursey has made a number of plays in the circle. Remember, she pitched and played shortstop in high school, so a good defender. 0-2 nearly catches her. We've got a no pitch. Home plate umpire, I don't know what the call there was. One and two. The home plate umpire apparently thought that caught Perquette, but it did not. So she does not take first base. It was kind of close. 1-2 to Perquette off the corner. 2-2. This is a big game. I mean, you're looking at the 8th and 9th place teams in the conference, and you say, okay, well, they're probably both done. They're not. I mean, especially UMass Boston. They have a little bit more of a ray of hope because they have 4 more games after this one. It's Perquette back to Bursey. Couldn't make the play. LaBelle struggling to get it out of the glove, and she's safe. If Bursey had been able to handle that, she probably is out. Instead, Perquette able to beat out the infield single. And she's aboard for Kelly Danahy. Perquette's third hit of the day. And we've got a pinch runner at first base. It's going to be Bella Nadeau. Nadeau, who we saw pinch run in game 1, is at first base for Brittany Perquette. Nadeau, the freshman middle infielder out of North Smithfield, Rhode Island, attended Mount St. Charles Academy, where UMass Boston men's hockey coach Peter Belisle not only played, but his dad was the longtime head coach, and his older brother has now been the men's hockey coach for the past couple of years. Danahy steps to the plate, reached twice on a fielder's choice and an error, hits this one up the middle. That is her first hit of the day. The throw to third. Nadeau's there in time. It skips away, but Bursey backing it up. If Bursey is not there, that ball probably either gets into the dugout or over the screen and allows Nadeau to score. Huge play by Tatiana Bursey. So Nadeau up to third. Danahy with her first hit of the day has now reached in all 12 games this year. Hit safely in 11 of 12. And Bri Melchionda, who has 3 hits on the day, 3 for 5, a chance to give the Beacons the lead again. She had a big 2-run go-ahead single in the 5th of game number 1 when she was pitching. 0-1 to Melchionda. Freshman out of Marshfield in a big spot. Singled to third and struck out looking thus far against Bursey. 0-1, 2 outs, and Melchionda fouls it off 0-2. Even by getting these last 2 batters up, I mean, this is a worst-case scenario for UMass Boston. You still get Ruggiero up at least once more in this game if it goes to the bottom of the 7th. 0-2 to Melchionda, another foul ball. Bri came into the day with a tie for the lead with 6 RBI. She had 2 in game 1. She was tied with Danahy, who has 2 here in game 2. So back into a tie with 8 RBI apiece. A chance to take the lead. Melchionda, a little bit straighter, but still foul on the left side. Stays at 0-2. Nadeau, the pinch runner at third. Very good wheels. Danahy, pretty good speed as well at second. We have not seen a wild pitch, and one of the things to remember is Tatiana Bursey has the least wild pitches, but the most innings pitched on Rhode Island College. So you're probably going to have to put this ball in play. 0-2 from Bursey, bounces up there, and what a stop from Rathbun. It's almost the broadcaster's curse. You talk about a wild pitch, and Rathbun having none of it. Big stop from the catcher. 1-2, 2 outs, 2 on. And we've got one of the foul balls was thrown back onto the field, but a little bit too close to the left fielder. It's Julie Vincent out there in left. After 7 o'clock here on the East Coast, we are running out of sunlight. 0-2, Melchiana fouls off another one. She is not going down without a fight. Bottom of the 5th. Rhode Island College took a 1-0 lead in the top of the first. The Beacons answered right back with a run. They took a 2-1 lead in the third, but Rhode Island College scored 2 in the top of the fourth to take a 3-2 lead. 0-2, and Melchiana hits this one out to left. Going back on it is Vincent, turning and making the play. Julie Vincent got twisted and turned, but was able to come around and make the play. And the Beacons leave 2 on here in the 5th. We head to the 6th. It stays Rhode Island College 3, UMass Boston 2. Meghan Adams on for her second inning of work. She'll face 9-1-2, Vincent, Katz, and Rathbun. First pitch swinging is Julie Vincent, who is 2 for 2 on the day, or 2 for 2 in game 2, I should say. Single to center and a bunt single in her 2 at-bats. Also scored in the 4th. Vincent is 4 for 5 on the day. Had a single and a double, 3 RBI in game 1, so she is having herself quite the doubleheader. Out ahead of that one, just past her head coach, Brian Claypool, gets out of the way. Update from lacrosse, the Little East Conference semifinals. It's Plymouth State 3, UMass Boston 2. This game was close the first time these two teams played in the first quarter. It was actually only 2-1 UMass Boston after 1, but they pulled away for, I think it was a 21-7 victory. 0-2 low, 1-2. Vincent, Katz, and Rathbun as Rhode Island College potentially their last crack at the top of the order as they try to get some insurance runs. A win for Rhode Island College would kind of keep them in contention for the Little East Conference tournament, but they'd have to win some weird tiebreakers as Vincent goes down looking. First strikeout for Adams. Second strikeout for Beacons pitching here in game 2 after Melchiana struck out 11 in game 1. Avery Katz has singled 3 times, but her single in the second was ruled out because she stepped out of the batter's box. Singled on a bunt and scored in the first, was ruled out on being out of the batter's box in the second, and then had an RBI go-ahead single in the 4th inning. 2-run single. Very talented leadoff hitter. Takes it outside 2-0. Cats, one of a number of talented players for this Rhode Island College team out of Connecticut. Look at some of their top hitters. Cats is out of Connecticut. Ash is out of Connecticut. Boyce, who we saw have a really good game in game one, hits this one foul. Even Julie Vincent, who's had a great day. You can see how much the sun has gone down there on the camera. Two and one. Adams just looking for another scoreless inning. Showing bunt, putting it down. Landry picks it up, foul. 2-2. Cats has wheels for days. Came in 13 of 15 on the base pass, but does not have a stolen base today. Has reached 3 times, but for the most part has had runners on in front of her. In the midst of a 7-game hitting streak now. She had a hit in game 1 and 2 more here in game 2. Hits it over the third baseman. Ruggiero picks up in fair territory. Low throw, and DeCenso can't make the play. It was a great play by Ruggiero. Low throw, and unfortunately DeCenso over there at first base unable to make what would have been a really good out. It's going to be an error. The only question is the error on the third baseman or the first baseman? We've got a pinch hitter for Rathbun, and it'll be the catcher from game 1, Alexis Boyce. The error will be on DeCenso there. She just couldn't hang on. Got Alexis Boyce pinch hitting in the 2 spot. She had a very good game 1. Boyce, who hit in the 5 spot, had a pair of doubles, a run scored, and RBI. Also struck out swinging and lined out to first base. Just hits that one foul as Katz is still moving. Just a bit out ahead of it. First time that Boyce has seen Adams. Adams on for her second inning of work. Allowed a 1-out single, and the runner moved up to second on an error on the play, but was able to work around it. Boyce to be followed by Caitlin Ash, the LEC Rookie of the Week. Pitches low, gets away from Landry, and moving up on the confusion there is Katz. Won't go down as a stolen base, I don't think. But Katz now in, it's going to go down as a pass ball, and I think that's the right call. So an error and a pass ball move Katz up to second. On the inside half. 1-2. You really, really want to get Boyce here, because if Ash comes up with 2 outs, you can think about pitching around her and going to Wainwright. I mean, both hitters are tremendous. There's not an easy hitter in this Rick lineup, period. 2-2. Popped out to short right. Diuti is under it, makes the play. No chance for an advance there by Katz, who faked it. And there are 2 outs with a runner on second for Caitlin Ash, who has flown out to center, grounded out to second, and reached on a fielder's choice when the Beacons elected to throw home to get Katz, who was going from third. Ash, first pitch swinging, pops it up foul. Ruggiero's going to run out of room fast. Oh and 1 to the freshman DP. Saw her 9-game hitting streak come to an end. Fly ball that will get past Perquette. That will score a run. Perquette will get it into second as Ash is in there standing. But it's an RBI 2-out double, an unearned run after that error by DeCenso really comes back to bite the Beacons. It is now a 2-run lead for Rhode Island College, their largest of the day. 4-2. top 6, and the Beacons are going to need to find a way to get a crooked number at some point, as we'll see Ash have a pinch runner. The pinch runner for Rhode Island College, I think we're going to see the designated pinch runner, Shannon McDonald, the former track star who came on and pinch ran in game 1 in the 7th and scored. She's out there at second for Amber Wainwright. Wainwright has walked, grounded out to short, and flown out to right. All 3 of those at-bats coming against Doble, though. Beacons really need this next out. Cannot afford to go down any further with the way Bursey's pitching. This one is over the head of Sandin. Harlinski gets it in. The throw is coming home. The tag is applied in time. What a throw from Harlinski. They're in tons of time to get McDonald. And McDonald appears to be a little gimpy as she had to run around the bat there of Wainwright. It'll go down as a single and a 7-2 out at home plate as the Beacons get their second out at the plate of the game, third of the day. Head to the bottom of the 6th. Rhode Island College leads it 4-2. But the Beacons keeping it at 2 on a really good outfield assist from Harlinski. Bottom of the 6th inning, 7:22 here on the East Coast. Landry, Diuti, and DeCenso, 6, 7, 8. The Beacons had 2 on with 2 outs for Bree Melchionda. She put a fly ball up into the jet stream, but Julie Vincent was able to fight the wind and make the play to end the 5th. And then Rhode Island College scoring an unearned run in the top of the 6th to extend their lead to a day-high 4-2. UMass Boston led the entire way in game 1. Landry showed, but pulled it back. Call for a strike, 0-1. Beacons need base runners in the worst of ways right now. Again, it's not a must-win, but it's an almost must-win. It's a 95% must-win. They took the first game 6-5. hypothetically, the Beacons could get wins on Saturday at Eastern on Senior Day, but it'll be difficult. 6th-ranked team in the country. They've got Carly Stoker, who's likely to be the pitcher of the year. They've got a tremendous amount of hitters, probably have the player of the year somewhere in that lineup. So if you're UMass Boston, you desperate, and you're going to need help either way. Western Connecticut State has 4 games left, so even if you beat Keene, who has 4 wins tomorrow, even if you sweep them, that might not be enough, as WestCon has 4 games left, and you want to get to at least 6, because otherwise you're rooting for WestCon to lose out, and that's asking a lot. 3-2 here to Landry. Beacon sophomore catcher out of Leominster, Mass. 3-2 pitch, low. And the Beacons get a leadoff base runner for the 3rd time today. And that's really good news because the first 2 times the Beacons had a leadoff base runner, they scored a run. That is the first walk issued by Bursey. Interesting decision here. The Beacons are going to pinch hit Ali Diuti for Lauren Bethia. And I say interesting because a lot of times you think about bunting here to move Landry up, but with a 2-run deficit, Beacons will keep Bethia up there. Lauren pinch hit in game 1 as well. And she grounded out to the 3rd baseman, Cassidy Schoen, in her lone at bat. Pops it up, foul. I believe it's 1-1. Bethia, the freshman out of Springfield, Mass., who won the Nancy Lieberman Charities Educational College Scholarship, awarded to high school seniors who are involved in athletics, who excel in academics, and make a positive impact in their community. 1-1, Bethia hits it right back to Bursey, struggles to handle it. Her only play will be to first. If Bursey had been able to handle that cleanly, she might have had to play at second. So, Beacons have a base runner at second here. And we're going to see another pinch hitter. It'll be Drew Washington pinch hitting for Tori DeCenso. I almost wonder if this is going to be a double switch where you could see Washington come on and play right field instead of Diuti, who was the starter in the 6th spot. And Bethia might be the DP going forward, but we'll see that as the game goes along. Landry out there at second with 1 out. Washington takes a low strike, 0-1. Drew started game 1 in right field, grounded out to the pitcher, grounded out on a 3-4, so hit it to the first baseman who threw it to the second baseman, and then was pinch hit for. Washington really surprised by that pitch, which looked low from our vantage point, 0-2. So has not been helped by the strike zone. Has to take the bat off her shoulder. Senior out of Bordentown, New Jersey, who's getting real low right now. 0-2 to Washington. Swings and misses. 3rd strikeout for Bursey. Two outs for Sydney Sandin, who ran out to short and hit a fly ball to right center that Avery Katz made a great play to track down. First pitch to Sandin in there for strike 1. Breaking ball. Landry out there at second, worked a leadoff walk. Beacons don't need to score in this half inning, but you'd like to get one back. Trailing 4-2, and again, that quasi must-win game. 0-1, Sandin takes 1-1. Landry getting further and further off the second base bag, almost hoping that she can elicit a throw that kind of gets away. Sandin looking to come up with a big hit right now for UMass Boston. Came in hitting .067. Bounces up there and taking off for third is Landry. Read it well. It's a wild pitch that Rathbun struggled to find. Sandin now 1 for 17 on the year. looking to come up with a clutch second hit. Swings and misses, 2-2. Landry out there at third base. 2 down, Harlinski in the on-deck circle. 2-2 to the shortstop, hit over to the third baseman. Shaw makes a diving effort from her knees. The throw is not in time. It's an infield RBI single. Sandin's first hit since opening day, and the Beacons are back within 1. Tough break there from Schoen, who kind of tripped over her own feet, couldn't really get up in time. Her throw was a good one, but just not there in time, and the Beacons only down 4-3. You feel a little bit more confident now. You know you're going to get to Kelly Danahy in the next inning. You might get to Melchiani, you might get back to Landry, a chance to potentially walk off in the 7th. If not this inning, if you can get something going, as that's low. Sandin hasn't been on base that often, but she is 1 for 1 on the base paths. Huge run for the Beacons. Harlinski taps it foul. 4-3 now. Sandin out there at first base after an RBI infield single. Got another close one, just about 300 yards to our left. The 1-1 Harlinski over to the third baseman. Schoen bobbles it. Her throw is going to be late. Cassidy Schoen has had a tough day over there at the hot corner. A lot of these plays have not been easy plays. 2 on, 2 outs for Kaylee Ruggiero. Maybe the Beacons do it right here. Ruggiero has a lot of pop for a leadoff hitter. That one will go down as an error on the third baseman. Sandin at second. Harlinski at first for Ruggiero, who takes the first pitch on the outside half. 0-1. That is the second. UMass Boston will use their third pitcher of the day. Meghan Adams went 2 innings, allowed 3 hits, 1 unearned run. No strikeouts, no walks. Did her job, kept the Beacons in it, just as Emily Doble did over the first 4 innings. They'll turn the ball over to Elayna Jacques. Jacques, the Beacons freshman pitcher / outfitter out of North Kingstown, Rhode Island. We saw her as a pinch hitter in the first game. She's making her second collegiate appearance in the circle. Went 1 inning, allowed 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, a triple against Plymouth State, which right now is the 3 seed in the LEC. That was on the 24th of April. Looking to have a better outing here, preferably a scoreless outing to get the Beacons out of this 7th, down only a run. 2-0 here to Cassidy Schoen, the third baseman, who's going to be followed by Faith Turanese and Ashley Armstrong. Cassidy Schoen has lined out to short, single to right, and grounded out to the first baseman. Chops this one over the shortstop, Sandin, picks, throws, and retires the leadoff batter. So if the Beacons can get out of this inning scoreless, either way, they're going to come up. But if they can get out of it scoreless, they will have the heart of the order, 2, 3, 4, Perquette, Danahy, and Melchiana with the chance to walk off here at home. The Beacons walked off in their opener against Castleton. First pitch is strike 1 to Faith Turanese. Turanese came on as a defensive replacement for Erica Flusky after her last at bat. Pops this one up on the infield, standing calling for it, and will make the play just outside the circle. That's what the Beacons want, a good...
Let's go, George! Tear it up, Clark! There we go, Clark! 3 takes it left! Here we go, George! Are we rallying them?
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the technical difficulties. The bottom of the 8th inning, UMass Boston has Tori DeCenso, Stevie Sandin, and Sarah Harlinski. We had some Wi-Fi issues and now having some issues with our audio, as you can definitely tell, but we are back. My name is Seth Orensky, bringing the action. For UMass Boston, in the bottom of the 7th, they put 2 runners on with no outs. Tatiana Bercy got 8 to the next 2 batters, but a wild pitch allowed Brittany Perquette to score the tying run. In the top of the 8th inning, had a leadoff base runner, but the Beacons were able to get out of the jam thanks to Elayna Jacques, and there's a great catch behind the plate by Callie Rathbun for the first out of the bottom of the 8th inning. We're not only running into technical issues for the webcast, we're running into some technical issues with Mother Earth as the sun is going down rapidly, and this game cannot end in a tie if you're a fan of either of these teams. These teams need wins and only wins to make it into the LEC tournament as Sydney sits in second place. 1 for 3, a ground out to short, a fly out to center, and a single that was an RBI single on the 6th to cut the deficit to 4-3. Second base with no outs until the 10th inning and Little East Crawford split. Sandin swings through it, 1 and 2. You can tell that our camera is right next to the Beacons dugout as they scream and chant and cheer, trying to will their team to a victory. Maryland College left 4-2 heading to the bottom of the 6th. The Beacons a single run in the 6th and 7th. Sandin pops it up top. 1 out. To be followed by Harlinski and then the top of the order. The Beacons took the first game 6-5, and this one has been just as tight. 1-2, Sandin takes it 2-2. If you couldn't tell, that was a ball. Bercy has gone the entire way for Rhode Island College, and the Beacons have used 3 different pitchers. Hit up the middle, Bercy bobbles, last time, picks there are 2
Hey,
outs.
go with you, Sarah.
As Harlinski
Hey,
steps
find
to
a
the
way,
plate.
Sarah. Hey, find a way, 1-9. What do you say, Ken? Hey, here we go, Sarah. Hey, Sarah, what do you say, 1-9?
4-4, bottom of the 8th, 2 outs for Harlinski. The 9-0 hits it right at Cole. The throw over is in time.
Let's go.
Now it's Rhode Island College's chance to celebrate as the Beacons rush out, hoping to play a 9th inning.
What Juicy say?
Right now, the umpires for the 2 teams are meeting, and I think that they are going to call this game not a tie, but a suspended game. So right now, it's 4-4 heading to the top of the 9th, and I think we are going to discontinue play here, and eventually, if needed, these teams would come back and play maybe on Sunday or Monday ahead of the LEC tournament. So, if this game is necessary to complete the LEC standings, we will be back at some point here at the UMB softball field. Otherwise, I think this game will go down as a tie, but for the moment, it's a suspended game. 4-4, top of the 9th. If we do pick up, it'll be the same batting lineups, the same hitters, this, that, and the other. But for that, now that will do it for us here from the UMB softball field, tied 4-4, heading to the 9th.
We need to get this view on the camera. Give a fuck about a trip. I'm so real, and we really with this. Put this on your lip. Give a fuck about the dick. I get that, and then I grab my shit, and then I do when I'm going vegan. He be tripping on me and I know the reason. I got to break up with my every season. Real high girl shit, I got 1 or 2 days. If you see me last night, don't say shit the next day. Let me try the boat, hey. Kiss me in the road, hey. It go down on that brown, now we going both ways. I can't lose your mind, gotta say that shit. Should I take it love, should I take that? Got a whole lot of different pushing my days. I'm a high girl, say that.
Alone. How's it go down? Okay. This shit.